We present the poem they didn't want you to read.
Everyone knows the epic poem Shorelines. We recited it at school, we memorised it at Christmas, we read it at our best friend's wedding. Tonight we re-examine the poem's impact. But first, let's savour it again. We present a new visual interpretation of the epic poem Shorelines.
We were sitting by the sea. Little Jeremy and me. When a duck-billed platypus waddled up and sat on us. It was Boxing Day, 1953.
It is over 5 decades now since the poem Shorelines was first published in an obscure literary magazine called Phobia. The poem was sent in a letter to a friend, along with a drawing with the caption, "Old photographs are no use now." The friend kept the poem and drawing for exactly a year and then set fire to it in a bizarre ritual on Clapham Common. Exactly a year later, the poem reappeared in the friend's house, inside his Wellington boot. Once again, the friend went through the ritual of setting fire to the poem, this time in an abandoned abattoir near Stoke Poges.
The next morning, when the friend went down for breakfast, there was the poem on the toast rack. The friend never touched toast again for the rest of his life. He only ever ate cornflakes or boiled eggs, but rarely both together unless he'd run out of kippers. But what's the real story behind this epic poem that refused to die?
To find out the truth, we decided to look at the facts and then go from there.
This epic poem was inspired by a scene on a desolate beach in Hastings in January 1972. A lone figure stood on the shore watching the waves roll in.
The poet had spent the night in a beach hut during a howling gale. At the height of the storm, he had a vision. In his mind's eye, he saw himself sitting in a deck chair on the beach in winter, watching a hand-cranked television.
With that gibberate. Okay, you saw starting it was faded and Banier was gibbering all. Is there for special self-skulls?
Beside him, in another deck chair, sat a ventriloquist's dummy. Scholars have spent years working out the meaning of this scenario.
I have spent nearly 5 decades trying to solve the riddle of the ventriloquist's dummy in a deck chair on the beach.
And what of that enigmatic date? Boxing Day 1953.
What we do know for certain is that Boxing Day 1953 fell on a Saturday, which just happens to be my favourite day of the week.
The other baffling thing, of course, is the duck-billed platypus, a creature not usually seen outside zoos or the antipodes.
Is it an allegory? A symbolic representation of something deep in man's psyche?
Or is it just a bit of nonsense? If it is, I have wasted a vast part of my life on a wild goose chase.
In the words of Professor Carl Lafong, the more we learn there is to learn about learning.
In other words, ipso facto. But one thing remains certain.
As long as men sit on a lonely beach with a ventriloquist dummy, there will be poetry.